Okay, everyone, this is just another video. Sorry, back to back, but just a quick public service announcement. Do not sell your gold and your silver. This is a rocky time. Obviously, money is metals and metals is money. So I saw this article today with regard to Yahoo Finance and BlackRock downgrading its outlook for stocks amid increasing economic uncertainty and persistent inflation. I just found this a very peculiar article. You'll see why at the very end, at the bottom, in just a minute. They're talking about cutting its exposure to developed markets, equities, citing aggressive intervention by central banks to tame rising prices across the global economy. They quote unquote, we think the Fed has boxed itself in by responding to political pressures to rein in inflation. Eventually, the damage to growth and jobs from fighting inflation will become obvious. In our view, the central banks will live with higher inflation. Interesting. Obviously, they are one of the largest asset manager at topping $10 trillion. Talking about growth. I don't want to read all this to you. You're welcome to look it up for yourself. But we see continued volatility. Obviously, I mentioned this in my first video. The first 6 months saw the S&P in a bear market. Other firms cutting their forecasts for the S&P 500 and stocks in general. Still showing them rebounding in the second half of the year. We'll see if that happens. Again, as I stated, I think we're already in recession or soon to be in a recession. I think the middle class is continuing to feel the pains and will continue to do so, considering this last item here. We think central banks will live with higher inflation, pause, and then change course on their rate rises. Quote unquote, a boon for stocks. Again, we'll see if that's indeed the case. I think that's what they would like it to be. Again, there's a lot of bad actors out there manipulating the prices of pretty much every market, but in particular the metals market. And as we know, silver in particular, gold down as well, but silver in particular, gold-silver ratio popping over 90, as I mentioned. So this is just a recommendation, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would just recommend not selling your metals. I know some people may look at this as weakness and that there's no value in these and that they're going down, but really the opposite, I think, could be said. That these are definitely tied to spot price. But again, I mentioned in my prior video, whether it's $15 or $25 or $35 or $80 for silver, or same for gold, pick a number. It's really about holding the physical asset, the tangible metal. These markets are paper markets. There's more paper written against the physical in multiples. So obviously when there's a downturn or stocks go down, all assets can go down, and that's historically what happens. So the price of silver and gold may come down further, but at the same time there is a floor. There's a price at which it's going to cost more to mine the metal, that they will just discontinue selling the metal, the miners and refiners, etc., because the price becomes too low. So what that current bottom is, it's hard to say. It's probably higher than it has been in the past due to the inflationary story, and of course with fuel prices up, etc., that's caused increased production costs. So we could be there or very close to that now at silver at even close to $18 an ounce. So again, just a public service announcement. I know many may be struggling, and I've heard a story also from another article and a YouTuber, I think, that mentioned that calling a coin shop, that the coin shop owner stated that people are selling them their silver because they're in a hard way financially and are needing the money. So obviously silver and gold, when you're purchasing the metals, it's meant to be a long-term strategy. It's not something to buy in and sell out of like the paper market would be. It's again for wealth preservation as an investment also, I believe. and to secure your future. And but again, don't be using monies potentially that you might need to access for your daily living or in a pinch. But at the same time, the beauty of it is metal is money, and money is metal. So you can go and exchange that for fiat dollars. Still, it's a liquid market for the physical to the paper. So you can just need to find somebody to buy that from you for the fiat dollars. So again, but I just again recommend that stay the course. There's no real reason to be looking to unload your metals. I think if you look at the grander scale of things and the scheme of things, really, they might want us to try to return or turn in our metals and sell our metals. I've been pondering something recently, and maybe you all have too, and I don't know the answer to this. I tried to dig into it a little bit, but I wasn't really successful. And that was for the past 10, 15, 20 years, there's been this big cycle boon of we buy gold stores that popped up everywhere. And I started thinking about this. I was like, why did all those pop up, and where did all that gold go? Particularly gold, because that's what they were touting that they purchase. But I'm sure they purchased other metals and silver as well. But anyway, I just wonder where all that went. And at the same time with silver, just how much silver is out there. Do we really know? Is it worth the idea of relinquishing what you have to maybe not be able to get it later? And also the value of that should sustain and will always have value, as silver is, my belief, is money. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. There's a lot of ways we could turn and twist with that conversation, but this article really gave me pause today when I read it this morning. And again, I think it's just that narrative around the central banks continuing to play games, not really going to fight inflation. I think more and more people realize that they'll raise rates for a little bit. That will cause pains. I think ultimately they're looking to eventually crash everything, but we'll see how that goes. This is just a thought, but I think it's a slippery slope in an uncharted waters, and we've been overstimulating the economy for 15 years. And at the end of the day, that in particular can't end well. That's where I started this channel recently, because this has been brewing with me for a while, to be all in on metals. So hence the title. Thank you for listening. Take care.